the 4 spot. Collison is out there with Young. Then it's Labissiere. And it's Evans in at the 3 spot. We've seen the role of positions change so much, Doris. Do you think traditional centers are something that is falling now out of favor?
I mean, you think about traditional low post, back to the basket centers. And I'll go back as far as George Mikan, Bill Russell. Now you transition to Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, guys who played with their back to the basket. That certainly seems to be increasingly a rarity. You do have them. DeMarcus Cousins is a guy who can do that, but you can also have a guy who faces up, to 25, 30 feet at times. So I think what we're seeing is an evolution to big men who are skilled. And I wonder, Kevin, from your perspective, how much do the Kevin Garnett's and Dirk Nowitzki's, who at power forward spot, sort of change the way the big man overall was looked at?
Well, those 2 players in particular I thought had great mentors. They had guys like the Kevin McHale's, people that would take them and work with them on those types of things. The big man shooting outside, to me, becomes just extraordinary. And I think these European kids have kind of led the way in that move for the big to stretch and shoot. And your mouth is agape just watching what they're doing.
Yeah, and I've had basketball coaches tell me at every level of the game, college basketball and the NBA, that there's nothing more valuable in the sport than a big man who can be a 3-tool player. Dribble, pass, and shoot. Well, Kyle O'Quinn, he wasn't a well-known player in college, but he was a find in that second round of the draft. Whenever you have a player with his size and ability to eat up space in the middle, he's going to find a place on the roster.
Size is something that teams will always look to acquire and find time for, and Doris O'Quinn fits that bill in a big way.
Yeah, Kev, it's not easy to find a player of O'Quinn's size that has as soft a touch as he does. He can step outside, pull out his defender, freeing up the middle for his team. A very easy shooting motion on O'Quinn. He looks very comfortable from the 3-point line.
To the middle. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Rose has got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Prez with the bucket.
It's taken them no time to build this lead up. Great first quarter offensively.
Boy, they have a chance to put an end to this one before it even really gets started. That's how good their offense has been.
Now here's Rose. Not a lot of room. It's stolen by Prez. Got it up, and that's not going to go. And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Kings lead by 17. And some tough times for the Knicks, but you listen to Carmelo Anthony, it's clear he's invested in this franchise.
They pulled all the strings to get me here, and I wanted to be here. And yeah.
Knicks fans rooting for Carmelo to help make New York a playoff. Some changes for Sacramento. Prez is checked in for Koufos. Hield comes in for Darren Collison. Young is subbed in for Ty Lawson. On the floor for Sacramento, Prez in at power forward. Young is out there with Hield. Then there's Tyreke Evans, and it's Labissiere in at the 5, down low. Yes, that goes in. 36 points for Prez.
Well, if he's going to pick a time to pile up the points, this is it. He looks completely in rhythm heading down the stretch.
Rose kicks it to Noah. Outside Thomas. They set the pick. Rose with the ball. Now guarded by Prez. Sinks the triple. Holiday's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And that was the play to make. Rose making the right read.
And Young kicks to Prez. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Kings shooting their second and third shots at the line right here.
And as a team, really just middle of the pack in terms of their percentage from the line at about 76.
Knicks trailed by 8. Rose passes to O'Quinn inside, leaps for it, and it's out of bounds to New York. They'll retain possession. And looking at the steal numbers for the season, this chart showing OJ's contribution, steals per game by Prez and Justice Young versus the rest of the team.
Well, you had a feeling just from watching OJ how special they are at coming up with the steals. This is just an incredible graphic. You think of all the easy points that this team has generated off of turnovers and steals, and a huge part of that is due to the relentless thievery of Prez and Young.
You know, that right there is a great example. O'Quinn has got great hands, so he can step out or bang inside with the best of them.
And nobody, guys, among the defenders stepping up to challenge him on that drive to the 10.
And Greg, he says, thank you very much, and sails in for the flush.
Yeah, you know, they may have gotten the feeling he would dish it off, but he had a surprise for them.
Holiday left side. Pass to Noah. Just 5 to shoot. New York needs to get off a shot. Misses the 3.
And we haven't seen them get to the line as much here in the second quarter. They might be settling a tad too much offensively.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sideline.
Well, Kevin, smartphones and other technology are ubiquitous nowadays. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers says teams do pay a price. Social media and texting has absolutely hurt chemistry, he said. He recalled his championship season with the Celtics. One of the best things that happened to them was during the preseason in Italy, the players couldn't get a wireless signal, and they had to actually talk with one another. Kevin?
Yeah, that connection between players can make a difference. Thanks, David. And it's out of bounds to New York. They'll retain possession.
Now you think about Jeff Hornacek's reputation as a coach. He runs a modern offense, likes to get his guys out and running in transition, and he's going to spread the floor with players that can drive and shoot and have no problem letting it fly from deep. That's fun.
They get it again. It's deflected.
And you gotta respect the D. Prez just spiking the shot back thanks to that amazing reach.
And Young kicks to Prez. Nice slam there from Prez, who got to the rim on the pass from Young.
That's how you get juiced. Nice pass from Young to set up his pal, Prez.
And the call will be against Prez.
I'm Prez.
That'll be his second foul of the game.
Big call there. That's his second foul with a lot of time left in the half. He may be taking a seat.
And New York making a change here. Anthony's checked in. Passes it to O'Quinn. And O'Quinn slams it in.
Yeah, nothing too flashy there, but O'Quinn certainly able to punch it down with authority because he is a big body.
58 seconds left in the first half. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Prez. Prez finishing off the play with the dunk. He won't miss many of those.
And you can just see him psyching himself up after a play like that. Nice slam by Prez.
The shot's good from O'Quinn.
He's been taking what the defense gives him, shooting a high percentage, and they still trail.
Young outside. Sacramento moving it around. Here's Prez, and finished off by Prez.
And I love the shot selection by Prez. Playing well within the offense there and burying a lot of buckets in the process.
Rose dishes to Noah. Oh, that's blocked. And they'll keep possession. Holiday with the 3. A rebound by Young.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Prez passes to Young. The dish now to Heel. Pass to Prez. Back to Young with 1 on the clock. And what a nice play there between Orange Juice to set up that score.
And Young got the finish, but the pass from Prez was just as important.
So as we conclude the first half, so far, fairly...
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Coach Dave Yeager. Coach, what is going...
Bring it in, guys. Hey, great work in the first half. Hey, this is what happens when we play our brand of basketball. They cannot stop us. Do not take your foot off the gas, gentlemen. This is our game. Come out!
The incredible view of One World Trade Center rising high above New York City. Welcome back, everyone. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. We're seeing a tremendous game from Prez.
It's been about his ability to just lock down the opponent from a defensive standpoint. A lot of shots also being blocked.
His timing is great, and it gets tremendous lift. Guys are having a hard time shooting over him.
Knicks trail by 16. Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And New York looking at who they've got. Melo and Porzingis, the two stars at the forward spots. Lee out there with Rose. And it's Hernan Gomez in at the 5.
And when Prez gets room to run, the D is toast. I mean, a fantastic finisher in transition.
Well, the glory days for the Knicks, back in the early 70s, 1970 and 73 to be exact. The franchise's 2 NBA championships. Who can ever forget?
And now here comes Young leading the break. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And what a great team that was. Doris, that roster for the Knicks in the early 70s. Wow.
Wow, you're right, Kevin. Dick Barnett, Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere, Willis Reed, and, of course, Walt Frazier. All fixtures on both title runs. It was a deep team, and they worked beautifully together.
Flying high and throwing it down with the one hand.
Woo, one of his favorite moves right there, guys. And finished off by Prez.
Yeah, and just superb work there by Young. So unselfish with the basketball. Really likes getting the ball to his teammates.
And there's the pass to Porzingis. And the dunk by Porzingis.
You know, the basket is good, but it's all about the assist there. That pass led him to just the right spot on the floor.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
No, I mean, exactly. That's not an easy area for him to operate in with that kind of defensive setup. A nice job to get it up and over the bigger guy.
Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Of course, you've covered the game at so many levels, be it women's basketball, men's college, men's pro, and your view, how significant are the differences in the game from one level to the other?
Yeah, I think that the gap is significant. Vastly different games. I like to say I cover 3 different sports, even though they all are only basketball. Women's basketball is at an entirely different point in its history. To me, the college men's game, you know, the skill level is there, and increasingly it's getting better. But not on the floor at any one point are 5 guys, all of whom have the athleticism or the skill set to make it to the NBA. What's striking to me about the NBA is on any given trip up the floor, and in all likelihood on the vast majority of them, you're going to see something special.
That is so true. The Kings have been coming through at the charity streak. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
And really, Prez is a fantastic player, a true leader on the floor who his teammates look up to.
Boy, excellent start to this second half. They've missed just once in 5 attempts.
And Young kicks to Prez. And finish off by Prez.
You know, they continue to feed him the ball, and he keeps delivering. The leading scorer in this one.
New York calls timeout. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
A lot of firepower coming off the bench in that game really allowed them to escape with victory.
Case in point, where you need talent in reserve, not just to guard against injury, but also you need real contributions from these guys when called upon.
Evans, he's checked in for Rudy Gay. Young with the pass, and Prez with the finish. Nice play.
And you know Prez will finish that play, and more importantly, Young knows that Prez will finish that nice score from Orange Juice.
Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Porzingis. Some nice passing by New York here. Collison against Lee. Right wing. Outside Anthony. Beyond the arc. It's hauled in by Collison.
The defense fortunate that he didn't burn them there. You'd have to think he wouldn't miss that again.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Here now is the 2K leaderboard. Over the past month, these teams have tortured opponents defensively. Number 1, the Kings.
What a month they've had defensively. I mean, they've really gotten after it on that end of the floor.
And in the past few years, Doris, the league has looked to provide more transparency and officiating. This is an interesting topic. Do you feel that's a move in the right direction, the transparency?
Well, from a fan's perspective, certainly, because you want to make sure that what you're watching is legitimate. You want to know that, okay, you know, they might have missed this call or that call, and that's the human aspect that you can't fix. I do understand the players' and coaches' perspective that it's frustrating to them because it never changes the outcome. So from their perspective, they're sitting there saying, don't tell me that. I don't need to know. I already knew. You don't have to confirm my feeling. But from a fan perspective, I would want that kind of transparency.
Does it undercut, though, the view that we as fans have of the officials? And they say some games, last 2 minutes, may have 9 things that were wrong. And now you're wondering, why are these guys even out there officiating when there were 9 things wrong in the final 2 minutes?
And because you cover college basketball, you know as difficult as this has been for NBA officials because they have been under the glare in the microscope. And I do wonder if that's contributed to sort of a snowball effect. You know the officiating at the NBA level is the best in the world.
It is. And Cauley Stein throws it down.
And with Prez, you get it all. Outstanding passes to his guys who have clean looks at the basket.
The Knicks have gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the third quarter. A nice 62% from the field. And up the court come the Kings on the break. And Young with the basket on the assist from Prez. Young's got 15 points. Well, this is what it's all about. Both Prez and Young have it going, and the numbers are piling up.
And Orange Juice putting the squeeze on for sure. Tremendous play from that duo.
Prez brings the double team to the inside. Rose. The shot off that time. Now Sacramento takes it the other way. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Knicks team.
An interconference matchup. They face these guys twice a season, and last year they took both games.
And Anthony gets double teamed. Lee kicks to Anthony. And the call will be against Prez.
I'm Prez,
his third foul
and I
so
approve
far.
that steal.
Justin Holiday's checked in for New York. And a change for Sacramento. Labissiere's checked in for Cauley Stein. Out to the wing. Here's O'Quinn. They get it back. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
A moment here to check out some numbers for Prez. The last 10 or so games, he has been remarkable. And with his great passing, he's been a catalyst for their offense, often seeing plays even before they materialize.
And he sinks the second. And GA, after being such a fixture in the city of Chicago and for so long, Joakim Noah signing with his hometown team, the Knicks, in the last offseason, a bit of a bittersweet end of his time with the Chicago Bulls. A lot of moving parts in his time with Chicago.
Yeah, and, you know, his playing time had dwindled, and it was just, I think, in everyone's best interest for him to move on. It's a great fit in New York, both with the team and the pulse of the city. Clearly was still valued highly around the league as it took a sizable contract to put him in that Knick uniform.
You know, we've seen this before. O'Quinn can make you pay on the stat sheet if you let him, and they haven't slowed him down here.
Young dishes to Prez. Back to Young. Collison kicks to Evans. Here's Prez, and finished off by Prez.
Yet another bucket in close. That's how he's earning his points today.
Knocked loose. Anthony, the pass to Holiday. Double team on Holiday, and it's out of bounds. The Knicks able to retain possession here.
And who doesn't love stats? Here are some numbers for Young. Second in field goal percentage, and his playmaking ability, unquestioned. One of the top 15 assist men in our league.
Here's O'Quinn, up and no good. Brings his field goal percentage down to 70% in 10 shots. Here's Prez, and finish off by Prez.
And what about the vertical of Prez there, just leaping up for the forceful slam?
It's stolen by Prez. To the paint. Shots good from Young. Young's got 4 points in the quarter.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
Tipped away. Here's Prez. Look at that jam.
Get out of the way.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came upright with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Oh, that was a great angle we just saw, courtesy of Kia. And he lobs it up toward the rim.
I love how patient Labissiere is, just letting the offense come to him naturally.
New York's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Rose against Young. Dishes it to Holiday. The feed to O'Quinn. Outside Rose. 5 to shoot. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Rose has got 14 points for the game.
Sort of an unlikely shot there. Didn't expect him to make it, but hey, he must be feeling it.
For New York, they've gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. And now Sacramento on the break. Young's running. This year, kicks to Prez. Kings moving the ball around. Shoots from the baseline. Second chance shot, and it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. He'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
So both teams changing it up here. The Kings have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them.
And you can see the potential that Labissiere has, an explosive player who's surprisingly quick.
And I approve that steal.
Fourth foul of the
Presidential
night.
pardon.
Now he needs to be smart. Can't reach in and pick up something foolish.
Here's Kuzminskis. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Ball's knocked loose. Sacramento's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight. 50% exactly.
And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
Oh, that's how you drive your point home right there. Down low. And Prez with a clear path to the hoop. He kicks it to Temple. Feeds to Prez. Back to Young. Wing shot on the way. Prez kicks to Lawson. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
And guys, give them credit. I mean, they've taken advantage of the turnovers in the open floor.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Prez. And he's going up for the alley-oop.
And Prez is just a dynamic player, a flawless passer who sets his guys up perfectly.
Looking at the last game for Sacramento, it was a win against the Boston Celtics.
They just looked stable pretty much from the get-go, guys. I mean, sometimes you'll see some inconsistencies come up in a road game that you don't see at home, but not the case in that one.
You know, they were relentless on the offensive end. They had good decision-making, outstanding execution. They went in and quieted a very hostile crowd.
Pass to Baker. Holiday with the three. Sacramento grabs the miss.
And, you know, you can feel the desperation right now. They're starting to lose their composure offensively.
You know, this is where your leaders need to step up. They need to force a shift in the tide.
Good work there as it goes. 7 points for Skal Labissiere.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Here's Kuzminskis. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. The Kings shooting has been sensational, 75% for the game. Prez with the ball. What an incredible scoring display he has put on tonight. Lawson dishes to Prez, and he gets it to go.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
The kick out to Young. Here's Prez. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup.
And you got to admire the attitude of Prez, staying with his shot despite the D being all over him.
Here's Hernan Gomez, and the layup's good off the glass. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. It's Sacramento opening up a huge gap. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Sacramento's gone 5 of 10 from downtown tonight, 50% exactly. And a look at the 5 for the Kings to start the fourth. Levens is out there with Lawson. Then it's Labissiere. And it's the Knicks with the ball. They get to take on the Heat at Miami after this one. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. Ahead, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Oh, the officials are all over that one.
And going back to when you were growing up, Doris, which players did you admire and look up to?
Magic Johnson. I was a point guard. I obviously didn't have Magic's size, but I loved how much Magic wanted to make the people around him feel great about playing the game. And just with a smile on his face, you know, we all love and are passionate about the NBA and playing the game of basketball. And so he was a guy I really loved.
Well, no one enjoys the game more than you. I'm just being around you, watching you broadcast. I know you love it. At all levels, you love the game.
If they're tipping it up, Kevin, I'd like to be there.
You're watching, that's right. And New York making a change here. Baker's checked in, and then both teams making some changes here. There's 1:54 left to play in the final quarter. Anthony kicks to Porzingis. Good! Porzingis has got 28 points for the game.
You know, Porzingis' size obviously will make him a threat at the rim, but that athleticism a problem as well.
Kicks to Temple. Here's Prez. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
Wow, got that one off right in the face of the big fella. Nice quick fire release.
He really has to get it off that quickly. Any hesitation when you're giving up that kind of size, it's almost sure to get blocked.
That's tipped. Screened by Porzingis. Lee outside. Shot clock at 5. For 3. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. Labissiere's got his 4th rebound in this one.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest. Just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Kings.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And I think a great job in positioning themselves for the W here. It's win number 21 on the season.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone. And what a huge standout performance it was for Prez.
Well, what didn't he do, guys? I mean, he affected winning in so many different ways. To me, he's the reason they have got such a big cushion here as time winds down.
And you can hear the disappointment in the crowd tonight. But we saw a team that was just ready to do battle in this arena. They clearly wanted this road win.
And on the road, they knew they might have to work a little harder. You could see it coming, even in warm-ups, that they would be giving maximum effort.
And it's blocked, but they recover it. Thomas, that's good. Now here's Prez, covered by Anthony, and finished off by Prez.
This is a serious game-clinching run they're on.
Listen, if you want to succeed, respect the moment, play with a purpose, that's what they did.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. And Prez with a clear path to the hoop, and finished off by Prez.
And really like how Prez keeps his hands moving, which is why he comes away with important steals.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Young. Here's Baker. So it's the Kings winning this one easily. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Yo, Steve.
What's going on, Prez? Ernie and the guys in the studio want to talk to you.
All right, let's get it.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey, everybody. Ernie Johnson, along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal, seen here. Welcome back for the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Prez.
Hey, Shaq here. Great night for you offensively. Did you feel you had a matchup advantage on this one? Did you feel he was barbecue chicken trying to guard you down there on the post?
Come on, man. I don't think I had a huge advantage or mismatch, but I was able to get into a position I felt real comfortable creating from, and a lot of it was just finding situations that I can get an edge in, and that's where I was able to help the team.
I don't know what you saw, but every time he tried to guard you, I was like, barbecue chicken alert, barbecue chicken alert, barbecue chicken alert. Great game, freak.
Thanks, man. Now I'm hungry.
That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight. We certainly hope you've enjoyed the show, don't we, guys?